So this is what I'm doing here. So this is what I'm doing here. I have a scenario in Make, and then I have a database in Airtable. So what I'm doing is I'm trying to scrape specific leads, specifically youth sports, club sports. This is specific to my apparel business. So what I'm doing is I'm going in here. I have this app called Appify, and essentially what I'm gonna do is legitimately just go through a whole video of, I don't know how long it's gonna take me. It could be 20 minutes, could be 2 hours. But what I'm gonna do is just go through and finish this whole flow that I'm making, which is going to be a lead scraper, Google Maps lead scraper, to a email verification and phone verification module to then update my database for leads. And then this database is going to be scored based on deliverability score that I get from Hunter.io. And then I'm going to then create a second scenario that's gonna come in here and make me a smart list. It's gonna add all my contacts to a smart list in my CRM that I built using Go High Level. My CRM's custom built through my other company, Digital Nexus. We completely custom built everything for my apparel brand, and that CRM's called Digital Nexus. But so I'm just gonna go through, and then what we're gonna do when we upload it though into this list is we'll create a cold email flow automation. So I have a good amount of it automated, but right now it's Go High Level is a little limited for some AI interactions via email. So let me see. I'm gonna look at my cold email too, and then I'm gonna go in here, and what we're gonna get is, this is my current flow for cold email for reaching out to these youth industries, and we're gonna do a couple other segments too in our cold emails, but it's gonna be a little bit different flow for each one. But the cool thing is we now have in Digital Nexus, we do have email warm up. So this is why I am running cold email flows now right through my CRM. We were using Instantly AI, but now we can do it directly through Digital Nexus. So we're doing it in Digital Nexus. We have all of our domains. We have 9 different domains, and then we're gonna do, I'm gonna probably up this to like 100 a day. So then it'll be like 10 to 15 emails per day based off that. But there's a couple other things too that I plan on building out in this. Sometimes when you scrape Google Maps, so let me see, I'm gonna go into history, save this history. So sometimes you scrape Google Maps and then no email comes out. So for this one has an email, there's a couple down here that don't. So it's kind of frustrating. Yeah, this one, no email. So kind of frustrating when there's no email, but most of the time there is a phone number. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna take that phone number, and then I have another call bot that I made through Vappy. So Vappy AI. So, and I have this linked into our CRM. So we're gonna do outbound cold calls with our assistant Morgan in Vappy. So I'm gonna do the email side of it first. Probably not gonna get through everything in this video, but I'm just gonna essentially might not talk a whole lot. Probably just gonna focus and try and get this to work. And some of the stuff I might speed up. And mind you, not like I've used Zapier for like 5 years, and then this year I finally switched to Make. So I got convinced to switch over to Make. A lot more things you can do with Make. That's all I gotta say. A lot more things. All right. Let me go to the diagram. I'm having one issue, which kind of sucks. So when I'm iterating it out, it's like sending the same email over and over. But that's not how it should be, because this team has, this organization has like 4 emails, but instead of putting in 4 different emails, it's adding in all the fucking emails. But alright, let me go in here. I'm gonna run the module in the front just to get some data, so then I could go through and kind of configure how I want to. I just started making this one like a couple days ago, and it's already kind of backwards of how I really want it to be. I'm probably gonna put a splitter right at the beginning, and then do 2 separate things of verifying their phone number and verifying their email. Because the way I kind of have it set up is like totally dependent on email, which is mainly because we're gonna do cold email first. So I'm actually gonna go in here and refresh this because this thing is locked. And I'm gonna delete some of these doubles. But yeah, I'm gonna delete doubles. Yeah, so that's the one thing with automations, like there's like it's pretty much nonstop test and retest, test and retest, test and retest until it's right. Takes a lot of time. Like in the last 6 months, we've probably automated. Well, actually, I can show you how many tests we've automated. Well, how many scenario runs we've had. Just with this one business. With my apparel business. So essentially, this month alone, I'm not sure when the month actually started, but we had 90,000 operations completed. So, there's a lot of, value in automating things. Like, if we had to hire people to do those 90,000 tasks individually, that would be brutal. It would be absolutely brutal. The cost would be ridiculous, and it would just be brutal. It would be absolutely brutal. So it's either, I do it manually by myself or I hire someone or I automate it. So a lot of things too, they say don't automate anything until you know the process and you've done it over and over. But I totally disagree with that. I think you can automate something from pretty much day one, but it's just gonna need to be tweaked over time. That's just what it comes down to. Alright, so I got my sample data out here. So I already can see that it's not actually gonna be, the first one is not gonna be a qualified lead for us, based on it's a personal trainer, not a youth sports club. Physio Fit, yeah, this is like a gym, can't use that. Boxing club, can't use that. Hoop Fest basketball, so there we go. That's like perfect what we're looking for. But the only thing sucks, no email and no phone. So I do have another way of getting their email and phone. Essentially what I have too is I have a Facebook scraper. So let me rearrange this the way I think it's gonna work best. So there's essentially 3 scenarios in one. Like I'm gonna kind of just rebuild this whole thing based on what I'm thinking. So we'll have Facebook scraper. That's for people with no phone number, no email. And then we have our Hunter.io and then our Twilio. So I'm gonna go in here, create a filter, email not equal to blank. And then we'll go phone number not equal to blank. Facebook. Yeah, it's in here. Where website? Facebook. Alright, not equal to blank. So yeah, so what we'll end up doing here is I don't know what my computer's a little weird sometimes, clicky. But search records. So first thing I'm always going to do is search my database and make sure I'm not duplicating records. So essentially though, what we're going to have to do is every single thing would have to be it all has to get split here because you have 2 options essentially. You have to search the record. So search the record first, and then based on if it exists, then we're gonna split or create or update. So ID not equal to blank, ID is equal to blank, and then not what I wanted to do. Not at all what I want to do again. So what I usually do is just go in and honestly, yeah, I'm just gonna copy the same exact thing because it's gonna be the same exact thing. And then I'm gonna restructure it, make sure it's all good. And then now I'm gonna go in and map the data. So Facebook, go in here, Facebook, get their Facebook stuff. Alright, everything else mapped right. So now this is searching by email. So since this is phone verification, we're gonna search by phone number, and we're gonna just change this to phone. Save. Again too, I just started this, so like our lead list is super small here in this database. Like we have over 40,000 contacts as a whole, but what I'm doing here is I'm just gonna go in and just make sure get everything linked. I don't want to search by Facebook page because not every single business is gonna have one. So I'm gonna just try and match it by phone or email every time. I'm gonna go in here and just do email, just make it easy. But yeah, so now I'm gonna save it. Always save your scenarios, even if they're like that, because too many times that I've not saved and had to restart. Alright. So the most annoying one is this Hunter.io one. Super freaking annoying. So the best part about Make Do is like you can essentially run like just a portion of the automation, like on like a bunch of stuff. Like Zapier, that's not a thing. It's, you run the whole thing or you don't. So yeah, that's super clutch because I'm just gonna push more data through here, and then try and figure out this filtering to not have essentially a million of the same email, because if it right now if a company has like 5 different emails, it's just reiterating over the same email, which it's definitely 100% a it's an iterator issue that I just haven't totally dug into quite yet, but yeah, I'm working on that. So let that run, and yeah. Alright, so here we go. We got our data back in here. See what we got. Make sure it's what? Alright, so this one has Douglas and then camps. Then we got info 2 here. Alright, this is the one where it has like 4 different ones. So we'll see if it's searching 4 different ones or 4 of the same one. It is searching 4 of the same one again. So, let me see. So I'm gonna use my trusty friend here, ChatGPT. So I have a large browser, but I'm essentially a lot of times how I problem solve, like no secret. Use ChatGPT. I have ChatGPT Plus. Upload documents all day and ask it what I need to do to make it work right, and usually it gives me the right answer. So if you want to get ahead in life, use ChatGPT. All right. That's what it's telling me to do. Set a variable. Pretty easy. Variable value. Login for insurance. Alright, so the value. Alright. Alright, so I'm gonna run this again, but I'm going to run this once rather than 10 times. And then I'm going to unlink this and then save it and then hit run. So essentially I'm just gonna test it again. Again too, like automations is just test, retest pretty much all day long. You know, I've spent weeks on automations, but obviously a little more complex than this one. This one's actually really not complex at all. But alright, so here we go. So we got set variable. Alright, so this seemed to have worked. So it's gonna give me a set variable input name, output variable. So that will be the golden ticket there. So info. Let me actually set this. I'm actually set it to an actual set variable rather than value because that's not actually good. That's not good use of set variable. So let me go in here and I'm gonna do the same thing for the phone numbers because businesses do have multiple phone numbers. So we're gonna copy paste this same exact thing up here, unlink it, link it up, link it all up, and then we're just gonna rip the phone number. Let me make sure we got this right. Format, phone number. Yeah, I'm just gonna format the phone number, and then we're just gonna go in here, just make sure we're setting this right. Color name. Alright. Then we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna search by set variable bone, and then it should be Gucci. It should be Gucci. Emails. I'm probably gonna want to put a set variable here too, not gonna lie. Let me clone this. Email. Yeah, so we'll do same thing. So it's searching the right stuff. Alright, I always like to realign my stuff, make sure it's good to go. Alright, so I'm gonna go in here now and I'm gonna just change up email to set variable. Facebook page. Yeah, so valid phone number. Yeah, we're gonna pull actually this info from this module from Appify is scraping their Facebook page for me. So this I haven't ran in a while, so it's not showing any data. So let me run it real quick so I can actually figure this out. Yeah, we're just gonna have to make sure we run something with a Facebook page. So I'm just gonna add in a couple more search terms. So so I can make sure I get a little bit better information, so it's not a bunch of gems. Alright, so it's gonna make me unlink this. So I'm just gonna run it. Ideally, just trying to get the Facebook page so then I can finish these two modules over here. Take a second. But yeah, I mean, if you're a B2B business that, wants specific leads scraped from Google Maps so that you can, target specific niche or business in your local area to then, sell your service or your product to, this is the way to do it, for sure, and to do it fast and effectively. I can definitely duplicate this module and share it so that if people do want to scrape leads via Google Maps and then build a database of cold leads, you don't need to use Airtable. I use Airtable just because I have all my data collected and hosted in Airtable. I have a bunch of different bases for a bunch of different things, but yeah, the Airtable base is definitely probably the most efficient though way to do it, but you can easily use Google Sheets, do the same thing. The only thing you would have to do is either get an Instantly AI account, or you can sign up for a simple CRM with Digital Nexus for pretty much the same cost as Instantly. But I could even add this scenario to it and fill your pipeline with some cold leads. But there's a million options out there. There's probably, I'd say, hundreds of apps that can do this. You have Apollo AI. That's an app that actually, you get cold leads for business, and it's built into a CRM. But they don't have cold email flows already built out for you. You gotta go in there and build them yourself, or then call that person yourself, which is not an issue. It's not a bad tool. We explored it a little bit as well, but I think for us it's just better that we have control of everything that we're doing, and we have a team of 3, and we do a pretty good amount of apparel sales with just 3 people, and it's mainly because we've controlled every aspect of our business through automation and AI, and it's super helpful. But yeah, it's taken a little bit of time just to get these 3. It's kind of crazy. Alright, so it's found the lead finally. I think it's because I added some more search terms, but now it's running the Facebook page scraper. So ideally what we're looking for with Facebook page scraper is sometimes businesses, they won't have their phone number on, which is crazy. They won't have it on Google. Crazy. Definitely need to have it on Google. They won't have their email on Google. Also crazy. But they'll have it on Facebook, which is good. You got it somewhere at least. But if you're a small business, you need to have your phone number and email pretty much everywhere. I don't care what industry you're in. You definitely want to have your contact information everywhere, especially if you want to, grow or, be, somewhat functional of a business. But yeah, so here we go. Popped out. It's still running. Let me see. see. Alright, so this league has, holy schmoly, a lot of emails. So essentially what it did was it went through and it tried to search every single email at once. So we don't want to do that at all. We do not want to do that. That's a no-go. Yeah, so our best bet here, we just got to change this up. So we're gonna just change it up to a single call. But alright, so I'm actually realizing this now. So this is a Facebook app, input JSON, build, run. So I'm gonna go into my Appify account and look at my Facebook page runs. So here we go. So I'll show you guys the little trick here. So here is scrape the Facebook page. I get all this information. This page is not currently running ads. Like, it has all that information, like if someone's running ads or not. Gives us alternative social media, cover photo, email, website. We already have their website from scraping Google, but yeah. So this gives you a bunch of other stuff. Phone number, price range, all that good stuff. So let's get into here, and I'm gonna have to actually go to here and get data set items. So I'm actually gonna have to go in here and pull a data set because this is actually not pulling anything. So what I'm gonna do is then just, for the sake of time, I'm gonna go in here and then pull the run ID. Make sure that's the right one. Sometimes it's weird. Alright, so run ID, come up here. Just making sure I have the right info. It's not the right idea. So yeah, what I do to just, rather than type in, actually I can probably just type it out, doesn't fucking matter. Alright, JZ P I G U. So I'm just gonna type this out just to run a test on it, just to make sure that it's gonna work. 6V GR. Yeah, the scraper, the Google Maps scraper just takes forever. So this is just an easy way to test it. Record not found, dataset was not found. Okay, so dataset not found. JZ PIGUZ JL 6VGR. User ID, startup, finish status, meta, ordered. Alright, so here it is, default dataset ID. So it's gonna be down here. Alright, default dataset ID. I'm just gonna run it. Yeah. Alright, so easiest way to do this, I just come here, I screenshot it, I put it in ChatGPT and say type this for me. super fast. Not messing with it. Just not doing it. Not doing it. So, yep, here we go. Got it. I'm gonna run it real quick. Run it. Save. Okay. Alright. So this is the information we wanted to pull. So again, remember I'm pulling this too because it's in case the email doesn't exist. But also we get some other information like reviews, 30 reviews, 78% recommend, all this information. And then this is also really good data too for when we're doing cold outreach. We can hyper personalize the email, so we can like pull information from their Facebook page, like last post, all sorts of stuff like that. We can say like, hey, we see you're 70% recommended on Facebook. Love to work with you guys. Like we're specifically selling them team apparel, and then they say they offer pro quality products and service for the athletes who are passionate about play. And we can add a little module, put their little intro in there, and be like, hey man, like really love your intro, all this stuff, and just get a nice automated message for that first cold outreach. So yeah, let me so that works good. So I gotta pull that. Boom boom. Still gonna search by email, right? Yeah. And then I'm gonna open up this valid phone organization. So organization name. This is title. Yeah, first name. So some of this stuff is like, could already be full. But like, if we don't have an email or phone number, we still need to fill this stuff. The only thing that's rough is, it might overwrite your stuff. Oh, this is all create a record, so yeah, that doesn't matter. Never mind. Yeah, never mind. First name, last name. It doesn't look like. Yeah. So yeah, that's the nice thing about like Hunter.io. Like it will pull first name, last name. Give you pretty much all the information you need. I'm not even gonna fill in confidence score because that's specifically Hunter.io and Twilio, so I'm not even gonna worry about that. Website though, definitely gonna do website. Here we go, website. Industry, I try industry like Hunter.io would tell you exactly the industry. We can get a category name from Google, which is not bad, not great. City, definitely want city, state, so then you can segment your your lead list down. Like right now we're only doing Texas stuff. This is nice business size, but that's only through Hunter.io. We cannot get this through Google. We have their rank, which we don't freaking need. Right now we're not selling ad space or Google ads, so email type. Yeah, so email type is also Hunter.io. Like I put in generic or personal. Ideally you want a cold email personal and not like info at usports.com. It's just not a good look. Role also through Hunter.io. So this would just be the most, like all the data we can essentially harvest from Facebook. So yeah, this is updating a record. Alright. So yeah, I'm just gonna cut this out, and then I'll refill all this stuff and then hop back in here. Alright, so I did just realize as well, say we scrape their information and they don't have, so I can create another filter here and be like, Facebook not equal to blank, and I could put phone unformatted equal to blank. Well, no, I do, or phone unformatted not equal to would be an and rule actually, and phone number formatted equal to blank and email equal to blank. So essentially what I'm doing here is I'm only going to send it down this path if they just have a Facebook. So it's only going to run if they don't have a phone number or an email, but they have Facebook. So when I do that though, I am still going to need to verify their information. So what I'll do is I'm gonna have to verify it like this. This one I could actually probably just run it as a single thing like this, but I'm gonna run email. Alright, let me pop. So it's gonna, what I'm doing here is crawling the domain. The domain, well, that's what actually this module is not gonna be right. I'm gonna go into Hunter. So I'm just gonna verify an email. I'm not even gonna. What's this module? All right. So I'm just gonna verify an email because I'm not gonna crawl a domain because we already essentially do that, and we found nothing. So we're gonna go here. Phone number is not equal to unformatted. Okay, phone number not equal to blank. But yeah, that's, so yeah, this actually has to be phone number from here. Yeah. And then this is gonna run in here. Yeah, so this is technically considered a formatted phone number, and yeah, Twilio is not going to read that as a format. So what we're going to have to do is we can go in here and we can format number. Ugh. Ah. Alright, so what I'm gonna do here, just make a set variable. It's gonna be phone unformatted. all these apps, they do not like formatted phone numbers at all. So you have to unformat them. So this is a formatted phone number, has spaces and dashes. It should just be +12143899700. Nothing else. So I'm going to run this module. So for an example, I'll just put in a random phone number. Just put in a phone number here. Do like plus, just to make sure it works. Space 555 minus 453 minus 5567. I don't know, random number. But gonna run it, see if it formats it right or not. Looks like it did not format it correctly. Nope. Alright, so good old trusty ChatGPT Plus. Run it in there, see if it gives me a better formula for this. But we'll see. Yeah, so it's still not working. Alright, let's see. So this should, in theory, work, but we shall see. But yeah, so I'm just gonna go back in and update these because I changed the automation. So I'm just gonna pause the video and go in here and update all this stuff. Not hiding any secrets, just updating stuff. Alright, last one here. Email, first name. So one thing, I've noticed as I'm building this is like Hunter.io definitely gives the best information. Like I have the Twilio phone number lookup and verification, but I mean it's good, but a lot of times it doesn't run. It doesn't have the first name on there. Just no bueno. Not having a first name on there is no bueno. So I'm running it again. I'm just gonna test the full thing right now. Waiting for it to come through. Some of these will get updated, and some of them will, and then we'll get some new ones added too. But essentially, so what I'm gonna end up doing here though is I'm gonna build this out a little bit more. Essentially, I'm gonna create an AI scoring system for a lead as well. Like once I get to the next step, it's gonna then, after these modules, it will search records in Airtable, send it to ChatGPT, create a GPT that then scores the lead for us before it even goes into our CRM. So, a good score would be like, first name, last name. We have verified phone number, verified email. The most information we have on a lead, it's going to be, the highest score you can get. And then what we're going to do once it's scored, probably do like a 1 through 10. Anything scored over like 6.5, then we'll generate a AI cold email for that person based off of their Facebook page, website. We can crawl their website, get some information on what they're doing, when their next event is, stuff like that. So then we'll run our first outreach will be personalized, but you don't want, the key thing in cold email too is like you don't want it to be super long. Like if your first touch point is like this super long-winded thing, like explaining your whole business, like it's not gonna do well at all. So ideally it's just like a quick little like blurb of like, hey, maybe, hey, New Mexico Youth Sports, or if we have the, someone's name would be like, hey John, like saw, New Mexico Youth Sports is really growing this year or something like that, or like got some cool events on the calendar like X, and it's like wanted to see, where, wanted to see something like maybe wanted to see if you guys were looking for a new apparel partner or something like that, or was wondering if you were interested in, sublimated team gear this year. So it's like a 1 to 2 sentence thing, like super quick and to the point. Like in cold email, you don't want to beat around the bush. You just want to ask the question and then pretty much, get it over with. Some people would tell you, F off and unsubscribe, or, some people too, will ask for some more information. I'd say majority of people do ask for more information or just don't answer. So that's what we're gonna do with this. Still waiting for this to run the test, and we'll see how it performs here. Alright, lost my camera here. We got still running this, trying to test it. I added a couple modules here. I added a ignore module. So this happens, I'm ignoring it when it cannot find a phone number and verify it. And then I also have a filter here as well too. So if there's no number that produces out of Twilio, won't continue down this path. So it's essentially like an unverified number. We're not going to want to add that number into our CRM anyway, so we don't try and call it. So it's still running this operation. Let me go into here. It says it's finished, but finished 5:27 at 1,700 hours. It said it finished 15 minutes ago, so it doesn't look like it on this end, but I'm gonna refresh. And then yeah, so history still says it's running. Yeah, sometimes it just gets kind of caught up in here, but still running as of 6:15. So no new leads. No new leads. Alright, yeah, we got one new lead, I guess, up in here. So we got Dallas Youth Rugby, but so essentially I'm gonna just stop this video now. This is gonna be part one. The videos are a little longer than these other guys, but